Oh my god, Toogie's take back again. Yeah. This is the intro now. Fuck it. Let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? Tougie here, back again with another edition of Toogie's Take Quick Hits, the second of the day, because the one I recorded last night is now outdated because some other stuff has happened. So yeah, let's talk about it, shall we? Starting off with the Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2018. 2018. There are some controversial inclusions to this list, one of which is not Martin Brodeur. I'm just going to scroll down here. By the way, NBC Sports, NHL.NBCSports.com. Great site. I go to it every once in a while. Not that often, but it's good for something like this, so yeah. Anyway, Gary Bettman. We'll start off with that. As a Bruins fan, I am used to hearing criticisms of certain people that get into the Hockey Hall of Fame, mainly a certain owner of a certain hockey team. Gary Bettman making it into the Hockey Hall of Fame is not a surprise. It's a controversial inclusion, for sure. I'm not going to say the guy doesn't deserve it under the Builders category. It is what it is. If you want me to sit here and roast Gary Bettman, I'm not going to. Obviously, his tenure as commissioner of the NHL has not been perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, I don't know. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Some of you are going to be like, it's not that big of a deal. Most of you are going to be like, no, boo, Bettman, boo Gary Bettman, in which case you're not wrong. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. Martin Brodeur is a Hockey Hall of Famer. That was the ringer for this Hall of Fame class, so that's not surprising. Jana Hefford, who admittedly, I don't know that much about. So I'm going to go on YouTube after making this video, while this video is rendering, and look up Jana Hefford, who, I mean, my God, 4 Olympic gold medals. I should probably know who she is. But, yeah, I mean, I've heard of her, but I couldn't say much outside of what that description says, and I want to change that. Willie O'Ree. Long overdue. Long overdue. And this made my day. It did. Maybe it's just because he has such a tie with the Bruins organization. I'm not sure, but it's long overdue. I mean, he's not in as a player, he's in as a builder, which is fine, because obviously he only played, as it mentions here, 45 games. He shouldn't be in as a player. But what it meant for him to break the color barrier, he deserves this. And I've seen some people argue it, and it's mind-boggling to me. All you need to do is look at what someone like a Wayne Simmons said about the issue. It's a big deal. Just the influence that he had. And even still today, the influence that a player like Wayne Simmons has, the influence that Devontae Smith-Pelly is going to have on kids that may not have ever thought about playing hockey. They just saw DSP raise the Stanley Cup. They're inspired. I guarantee, 20 years from now, maybe even less, we're going to hear someone say, I saw Devontae Smith-Pelly raise the cup, and that's why I wanted to get into hockey, and now I'm in the NHL. And it was the same thing when Willie O'Ree broke the color barrier. So congratulations, sir. And I have to say, just, the man's 82 years old. Just, thankfully, he is still around to see this, because he deserves to. And it's kind of a weird thing. It's always bittersweet whether or not it's a sports Hall of Fame. And an example that comes to mind, it's not a legitimate Hall of Fame, but whatever, it still means something to some people, is the WWE Hall of Fame, which coincidentally I'm wearing a wrestling-related shirt today, but still. And you look at Vader, who just passed away, who really wanted to be in this bullshit Hall of Fame, as most people label it. It's a big deal to some people, so I'm happy that this finally happened. And, credit to Willie O'Ree. Can't wait to see the induction ceremony. Martin St. Louis, I'm extremely happy for. Fond memories of that 04 team. Sorry, Calgary. But I'm extremely happy for him. Again, for an undrafted player to make it to the Hockey Hall of Fame is insane. And I don't really have much else to say. I'm just extremely happy for him. Yeah. That's one of those weird ones where some of these, like, what am I supposed to say about Martin Brodeur? What am I supposed to say about Martin St. Louis? They deserve it, and I'm happy to see them there. Now, for St. Louis, there might be a bit of an argument about him being first ballot when there are some other players that didn't make it, of course, but regardless, I say he deserves to be there. I'm not going to focus on who should have been in over him. he deserved to be there in the first place. And then Alexander Yakushev, who admittedly, again, I don't know a ton about outside of, the Olympic gold medals. So I'm going to research him a little bit more as well. So those are the Hockey Hall of Famers. I don't really have room to disagree with any of them. I mean, there were other articles out, including from NBC Sports, just in terms of others that could have made it in. Boris Mikhailov, who I'm much more familiar with, Sergei Zubov, Alex Mogilny, Jeremy Roenick, Tkachuk, Pierre Turgeon, Theo Fleury, Doug Wilson, who might win GM of the Year next year if he gets John Tavares, Osgood, Cujo, and then there are quite a few others. And there's a whole nother list here that they ended up linking to as well with guys, first-year eligible players like Evgeny Nabokov, Matt Cook. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, not happening. Might happen for Sergei Gonchar, though. So I'm going to leave a link to this in particular, so you guys can scroll through here to see who is eligible. And, yeah, that pretty much covers it. But, yeah, the Hockey Hall of Fame, no real disagreements from me. Moving on to some of the transactions of the day. Again, there are a couple of surprising ones. Alex Burrows being bought out, not surprising. But, Jesus, did Vancouver fleece him. And I'm sorry, all I can think of are the Canucks fans who are like, why did we trade Burrows? And I'm laughing. Just laughing the whole time. And now they're like, yes, we traded Burrows. And it's like, well, no shit. No shit. You fleeced Ottawa then. It's not suddenly a fleece because they're buying him out. That was, and will probably go down as one of the dumbest decisions in the past decade to give up Jonathan Dahlen for Alex Burrows. That said, I'm kind of surprised Pittsburgh let go of Tom Kuhnhackl. A little bit surprised that they let go of Riley Sheahan. Just another player on the list who was acquired this past season that was let go of. Freddie Claesson as well. Nail Yakupov's a free agent. That's something I didn't get to talk about in the other video that went up. Anthony Duclair, Yurko, Clendenning. Some interesting moves, I'd say. Just in terms of, it's like, really? I mean, for Chicago, the Duclair rumors were out there. I'm just surprised they didn't bring back Yurko on a cheap deal. I don't know. I'm intrigued, though. Free agency is shaping up to be a lot of fun. Outside of the John Tavares potential signing, which we'll talk about in a moment because it connects to the last two tabs. Brian Rust gets a big boy contract from the Pittsburgh Penguins, $3.5 million per 4-year deal. How do you feel about this, Penguins fans? Because I'm not sure. He had a career year, and as we have seen with John Carlson, having a career year on a contract year can be a very, very good thing. This PC runs so slowly when I'm recording, by the way. It sucks. But that said, contract comparables, if it ever wants to load. I know Silfverberg was the top of the list, which, when you think about it, oh my God, can we load, please? Am I going to have to make a jump cut? There we go. So it's really comparable to the Silfverberg deal, the Tanner Pearson deal that he recently signed. If you're a Penguins fan, though, how do you feel about this? Obviously, Brian Rust brings, I'd say more to the table than just offense. Obviously, that's not his main game. But for someone to have a career year, for him to get that type of contract, is it good? Do you think that's the type of deal that's going to cause you a lot of trouble down the road? Let me know what you think on that, because I don't really know what to think of that deal. Nor do I know what to think of the JT Miller contract. 5 years at $5.25 per. I really like JT Miller as a player. I mean, coming off of a 58-point season, that's back-to-back 50-point seasons. I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve the deal. It is very similar to Tyler Johnson, who, again, is a 40 to 50-point guy, making $5 million at 6 years per. This contract is, at least, I was going to say very comparable, which is just a weird way to phrase it. The best contracts to compare it to, Nino Niederreiter, Mika Zibanejad, and Andre Palat. So when you're considering that, when you're considering the money being made there, does that make sense for JT Miller? Tampa fans, what do you think? I'd be fine with this contract, but of course there is the discussion of John Tavares and the Lightning being on the list to talk to John Tavares. Now, here's the problem. After this signing, as one screen just went dark, after the signing, they are down to $5.3 million. You are not going to sign John Tavares for $5.3 million. So that brings us to the topic. And again, some people took this tweet I put up seriously in terms of like, oh, there's no way they're in it. No, they're still in it. But it's a very similar situation to what Washington had to deal with, where the only way you are getting John Tavares in the situation is if you find someone to take one of your rough contracts. The only reason Washington got John Carlson, was able to keep John Carlson, is they were somehow able to move the Brooks Orpik contract. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that John Tavares isn't going to be a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning, because I'm not saying that Steve Yzerman isn't capable of pulling off a move here. He very much is, and if anything, I am rooting for the Super Meme Dream Team. That's a trademark, by the way. It's a trademark. Nobody else steal it. And if you see it anywhere else, it came from me. Anyway, in terms of the contracts that they would want to move to pull this off, Ryan Callahan would be a great contract to move out. Tyler Johnson could be moved out, but I can't help but think, would you not, in a way, want to keep Tyler Johnson? Like, if you have Stamkos, Tavares, and say JT Miller as your 3C, play Tyler Johnson. Well, actually, no, Tyler Johnson as your 3C. Play JT Miller on the wing, play Gord and Braden Point on the wing. They have a lot of options. I don't think moving Tyler Johnson is the preferred one. Ryan Callahan, though, had a really good postseason, but the problem is he makes about $3 million too much. So, I'm not sure. Ryan Callahan could be moved, though. Tyler Johnson could be moved. Alex Killorn could be moved. In terms of the other big-time deal, I mean, really, it's Braden Coburn and Dan Girardi. I think, really, I mean, I'd say most people would say, Tyler Johnson has the most value there. But I still think, just because, again, it's $5 million over the next 6 years for Tyler Johnson, that if you want to move that deal, another team is knowing damn right well that they're pretty much handing you, and handing you as in Steve Yzerman, they're handing Tampa Bay the best odds at a cup. They might already have the best chance at a cup heading into next year, and if you get John Tavares, then my God, if they're going to do anything, I mean, that first-round pick is gone. And then I really think you would have to talk about, say it's Ryan Callahan. If I'm Arizona, I'm not settled with just, okay, well, you want to sign John Tavares. Well, I'll take Ryan Callahan, but you're giving me your first-round pick and a prospect. That's the only way I can see it happening. Okay, cool, pages are unresponsive. Good to know. Thank you, Google Chrome. The good thing is, of course, that the Lightning still have plenty of high-value prospects because it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. They have the Cal Foots, the Taylor Radishes of the world to pull off a move. I mean, Anthony Cirelli, then again, you might want Anthony Cirelli as your 3C, so maybe Tyler Johnson is the most likely to go at this point. Tampa is by no means out of it. And like I said, that tweet that I put up, Jesus Christ, Google, you're killing me. That tweet that I put up is just more of a please, for the love of God, Yzerman, don't pull it off. Let him come to Boston, which is totally going to happen. John Tavares is coming to Boston. And we're going to trade David Krejci or David Backes and have to do the same thing of giving up a good pick and a prospect to move Backes if he even wants to be traded, because he has a no-movement clause. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. And let me know what you think about everything we discussed today, whether it be the Hall of Famers that are in, the guys who were not, and women that were not elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame, some of the moves that were made, the JT Miller signing, the Brian Rust signing. What do you think is going to happen with John Tavares? Because I really haven't talked about that in full much, because it's all just rumor and speculation at this point in time. But where do you think John Tavares is going to end up? And for now, I will say goodbye. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time. If not, then hey, it's been fun. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you just watch me out of spite. In which case, I respect that. Goodbye.